What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel and more Birthright here as we wrap our way around the remaining Eastern Basin domains, getting into the non-political ones now. So today we're taking a look at the temples, and as it mentions here, the Brights of the Eastern Basin follow many different orders of religion, most of them small and divided by realm, as we've seen many of those as we've worked our way through. However, one in particular transcends physical boundaries and carries the teachings of Eric to all the peoples of the Eastern states, or Eastern Basin states, and that's the Old Father of Forests, which we've run into a lot. So let's take a look at what they all have going on here. So neutral good recommended for PCs, so you could have a character run this. Though the Brechts consider themselves a pragmatic and mercantile people, some still find solace in the peacefulness of nature, and Eric's priests teach tolerance and acceptance and provide protection and comfort to those who would live in harmony with nature. Ruling this domain should prove challenging and rewarding since its holdings are small and spread across many realms. And so that will definitely be a trickier part, is navigating just the very real and very big differences in all those realms and somehow stringing together sort of a coherent religious message across those, but also dealing with all the challenges of those realms. So as we can see here, we have a fair few, not that extensive, but there's definitely room for expansion. Mostly on the smaller side, a lot of 1s and 2s. We do have a single 3 and a 4, so that's going to be our sort of central locations for the time being until we rule some other things up. So we have a couple in Bearhagen, 3 there, 2 in Royal Guard, which we just recently covered, 1 in Muden, so that's the 3, actually 2 in Muden, sorry, 3 and a 1, and then a couple in Troicht as well, which really seems to be the least developed of the whole bunch there. So a little bit of room for expansion, but in some of those, there's definitely other churches that are occupying some of that space as well. So it'll be tricky to rule those up any further, but you might also look to expand into other areas as well. Now, one of the big challenges is there's not much regency so far, so 18 and 22 respectively. Gives you a little bit of working room to get started, but not much. The bigger concern really, and you would expect this kind of because, I mean, it's not like some of the other churches out there like Sarah's, Halen, and all that other stuff that we've seen where they have these massive treasuries. Here you're sitting on a measly 5 gold bars, which really doesn't let you go far at the start. The temple seldom demands mandatory tithes from its followers. Rather, it gains donations from the rulers of the realms in which it holds influence. And really, that's something you're going to want to, I think, at the outset of a campaign, really rectify and get to the point where you're having a solid little treasury to actually do some work and grow. So, certainly want to get that into double digits as soon as possible. The regent here, the half-Uric, half-Breich druid, Pieter Astridson, level 5 priest, minor bloodline, neutral good. Maintains the custodianship of the Old Father of Forest Druids. A young, quiet man, he believes all faiths can exist peacefully within the forests of Cerelia. Some of the older druids and rangers of the temple believe he may be too peaceful at times and are concerned that the more aggressive temples and non-religious domains may expand their influence at the cost of Eric's temple and Breichter, which, again, that will be one of the big challenges. And so, when you're taking on the role of that character, assuming you're playing him, I think something will have to trigger a little bit of a change in attitude to where you're going to be not necessarily warlike like some of the other faiths out there and some of the temples, but just a little more willing to sort of not put up with any of the crap, I guess we could say, from other churches, but also any other things that are costing power and influence for the church. So, and a good way to do that in some of these domains would be to maybe help with some of the actual existential threats that some of them may face, other just serious problems, and showing people the good of what your church does. The description here, so the Old Father of Forests temple may be as old as Breichter itself. It has survived many permutations over the centuries, disappearing for a time but reappearing with the same name and with remarkably the same philosophies. The sect can be tracked back to the arrival of the third wave of settlers to the Great Bay region, likely brought by the early Uric men and women who mingled with the larger Brecht population. Of late, the leader here, Astridson, has devoted the Old Father of Forest resources towards building a lasting peace within the basin. His rangers and druids probe the Banshee's domain, aiding its people, and they work to protect the forests of Royal Guard and Muden from guilds that might abuse it. And we saw that there's definitely some abuse there as far as Royal Guard goes. that particular guild leader. Astridson maintains that his faith can coexist with civilization as long as the people of Brechtir maintain a healthy respect for things they may not understand, particularly nature. And again, that'll be that other overall conflict is the civilization versus nature bit. Certainly we've seen that the Brechts do favor other faiths like Sarah's and so on, and being more focused on mercantile pursuits and things like that. So somehow preaching the message that of still respecting nature and sort of leaning on that as sort of your central tenet is always going to be the challenge to those who are more likely to be city dwellers and focus on attaining material wealth and all that. So we got a lot of different little challenges that kind of intersect neatly. So definitely a challenging non-political one to rule. A couple others that we've seen. So there's the Sailing Song of Naira. That's mainly in Mudan. Has a lot there. Ella's Quick Fingers as well. Fortune's Forethought. The Corp Lap Tunraus, Royal Guard, and then Land's Protector. So they're not really elaborated on here so much, but something to maybe consider fleshing out a little bit if players did want to run some of those that would be available to run. So let us know your thoughts, guys, on the Old Father Forest, if you've run it as a domain, how that's gone in a campaign, or if your adventures have somehow intersected with that faith here in the Brecht regions. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and we'll see you in the next one. Be sure to like and subscribe, and we'll be back with more Birthright.